You know what's crazy? Most business owners have no idea why their Google business profile isn't showing up higher in search, even though they're doing all the right things. So today I'm going to do something I've never done before. For the first time ever, I'm going to walk you through the exact audit system I use with my clients to help them outrank their competitors and grab that #1 spot on Google Maps. Oh, and to make your life even easier, I'm giving you the same spreadsheet I use so you can audit your own profile step by step and start seeing real results. I've put the link to it in the description below. But before we dive into my system, there are 2 things you should do. First, download a free Chrome extension called GMBB Everywhere. It lets you peek at your competitors and grab the data you need to improve your own profile. I actually worked with these guys recently to help them pack in even more features to make it easier and faster for you to rank higher. Second, it's important to know how well your listing is currently ranking on Google Maps for your main keywords. Knowing where you stand before you start making changes is key if you actually want to track your progress. For that, I recommend using a tool called Local Falcon. I've also dropped links to both tools in the description below. All right. If you're ready, let's jump in. Head over to Google Maps and type in the main keywords you want to rank for, plus your location. For example, let's say you're an acupuncturist in Fort Lauderdale and you want to show up at the top when someone searches for acupuncture Fort Lauderdale. Now, take a look at the businesses showing up at the top. Do you notice anything? Do they have the main keywords like acupuncture and Fort Lauderdale actually in their business name? If they do, that's giving them a serious edge. Why? Because the business name is one of the most important ranking factors on Google. If all the top listings include the keyword in their name and you don't, it's going to be much harder to beat them. So what can you do? Well, you might want to consider tweaking your name, maybe by registering a DBA, doing business as, to include your main keywords legally. Just something to think about if you're serious about ranking higher. Once you've checked that, the next thing to look at is your primary category. This one's usually pretty straightforward, but not always. For some businesses like dentists or lawyers, Google gives you a bunch of options and it can get confusing. So here is the easiest way to figure it out. Just check what the top ranking competitors in your area are using as their primary category and use the same one. Simple. Next up, let's talk about secondary categories. This is something a lot of people completely overlook, but it can make a big difference. If you've already installed GMBB Everywhere, you'll actually see the secondary categories listed right under each business in the search result. Super handy. What I recommend is going through each of the top results and making a note of any categories that make sense for your own listing. Or to save yourself some time, you can use GMBB Everywhere's newest feature called Local Scan. Just click on it, then head over to the Categories tab. It will put together a summary of all the categories being used by the top 20 businesses in your area. Makes it so much easier to spot what your competitors are doing and figure out which ones you can add to your profile. Just a heads up, you can add up to 9 secondary categories, so don't waste them. They're actually a pretty important ranking factor. Once you've sorted out your secondary categories, you're ready to move on to the next step. All right, let's talk about what I like to call your landing page. That's just the page your Google Business Profile links to. For most of you, that's probably your homepage. Now, this page actually matters a lot because it gives Google important clues about your business, who you are, what you do, and those clues help your listing climb higher in the rankings. But here is the thing. There's one part of that page that's way more important than anything else, and that's the meta title. You want to make sure your meta title includes your main keyword and your location. And here is a little pro tip. Try to put those keywords as close to the front of the title as possible. That way, you're making it super clear to Google and to people searching exactly what you're about. It's a small tweak, but it can make a big difference. Now, don't click away from your homepage just yet, because the next thing you want to fix is your page header. This is also called the H1 in the HTML code, and it's usually the biggest headline on the page. Make sure it also includes your main keyword and location, but don't just copy your meta title. Mix it up a little. If you're stuck for ideas, just fire up ChatGPT and ask it to help you craft a great page title and header. It's quick, easy, and saves a ton of time. Once you've nailed those two, stay on your homepage. I told you this page really matters. Now scroll through the rest of your content and make sure your keyword and location show up naturally throughout the text and in some of the smaller headings. But, and this is important, don't go overboard. It needs to feel natural, otherwise Google might think you're trying to spam the system. Again, if you're not sure, you can even copy your existing page content into ChatGPT and ask it to help you sprinkle the keywords in the right way without overdoing it. Super handy. Before we carry on, I have a small favor to ask. Every like and subscription helps support the channel and keeps this kind of content coming. So if you're enjoying it, go ahead and click those buttons. Many thanks. Back to the audit. With your homepage all set, you can focus on the next big piece, your business address. This one's super important, and there are a few things you need to know. First off, having an address showing on your Google Business Profile seems to give a significant boost in rankings. Google has never officially said this is true, but tons of tests from SEO pros over the years have shown it really does help. But, and this is a big but, you need to play by Google's rules here. According to their guidelines, only brick and mortar businesses that customers can actually visit are allowed to display an address. If you're a service area business like an electrician or a plumber, meaning you go to your customers instead of them coming to you, you're not supposed to show an address. Instead, you're supposed to list the areas you serve. Now, here is where it gets tricky, because showing an address helps you rank better. A lot of service area businesses just ignore the rules and display an address anyway. And sure, that can give you an edge, but it's also the number one reason Google suspends listings. So you're kind of rolling the dice here. Based on that, here's what I recommend. If you're a service area business and your listing already shows an address, leave it as is for now. You're already getting the ranking boost, so enjoy it while it lasts. If your listing ever does get suspended, you'll need to fix it by removing the address, and yes, your rankings will likely take a hit when you get reinstated. But if your listing is already set up as a service area business without an address, do not modify your listing to add one. If you try to add a physical address now, Google will make you re-verify your listing, and you won't be able to unless you actually have a real, legit location that you can prove belongs to your business. So don't risk it. That's the advice I give to all the service area businesses I work with, because this one little detail can make a huge difference. Alright, so now you know how to handle your business address, whether you're a brick and mortar or a service area business. But we're not done with your address just yet, because there's another super important question you need to ask yourself. Is your business address actually located within your target city? Here's the thing. If your business is physically located outside the city or area you're trying to rank in, like if your office is a few miles away in the next town over, that's gonna hurt your chances of showing up on the map for that city. Google tends to favor businesses that are actually located closer to where the search is happening. So if you're trying to rank in, say, downtown, but your address is way out in the suburbs or just outside the city limits, you're gonna have a harder time. Ideally, your address should be smack in the middle of the area you want to dominate. And sometimes it's not even miles. Even being a single street outside the city boundary can be enough to knock you out of the results. Here's a little tip. If you're not sure what Google considers to be the boundaries of your target city, just go to Google Maps and search for the city name. Google will outline the official boundaries for you. If your business falls outside of that line, it's going to be tough to rank when people search for businesses like yours in that city. So what's the solution? Well, if you're just setting up your business or you have the flexibility to move, make sure you get an address inside the city or area where you want your customers to find you. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. Once you're sure your business address sits within your target city, there's still one tiny detail most people forget about, and it couldn't be easier to fix. Is your business address showing in the footer of your website? Here is why this matters. When you add your full address to the footer of your site, you're basically telling Google, yep, this is the same business at the same location everywhere you see it. That little bit of consistency helps Google trust you more, which can give your rankings a nice little boost. And it also reassures customers too. This is especially true if you're a service area business and you've been thinking, well, I don't need to put an address on my website because I don't see customers at my location. A lot of service area businesses skip this step, but you really shouldn't. Having that address there still helps connect the dots for Google and helps your profile perform better. So go ahead and add your full correct address right there in a footer of every page. It's quick, simple, and really effective. Once that's done, we can move on to the next step, your opening hours. Here's the thing, Google wants to show businesses that aren't just relevant, but also convenient for the people searching. And if you're open longer, maybe earlier in the morning, later at night, or even on weekends, you're more likely to catch their attention. And Google's too. For example, if all your competitors shut down at 5 p.m. and you open until 7, guess who's more likely to show up when someone searches at 6:30? Yep, you. So here is what you should do. Sure, you could go through each business that ranks above you one by one and manually compare their opening hours to yours, but honestly, that's time consuming and a bit of a pain. The easier way, just click on the local scan option in Google Maps and head over to the Business Hours tab. You'll get a clear breakdown of the opening and closing times for the top 20 businesses day by day, including who opens the earliest, who stays open the latest, and even if anyone's running 24/7. If you notice everyone opens at 9 and closes at 5 and you're doing the exact same thing, that's your chance to stand out. Even staying open just an extra hour or two could give you an edge. Now, don't put hours you can't actually cover. Be realistic. But if you or your team can manage it, extending your hours is absolutely worth trying. And don't forget to update your hours on both your Google Business Profile and your website so everything stays consistent. It's a small change, but in competitive areas, little advantages like this can really help you generate more leads. Once you've updated your operating hours, you can move on to one of the most crucial aspects of your listing, your reviews. And here we're looking at two things, your average star rating and the number of reviews you've got. 5-star reviews are great, but you also need to have enough of them. If your competitors are sitting at a 4.8 with 200 reviews and you are at a 4.3 with just 20 reviews, that gap is definitely holding you back. To see how you stack up against your competitors, head over to Google Maps, click on the local scan option again, and then hit the Reviews tab. That will give you an overview of the top 20 listings, which are basically your competitors, and show you their average ratings and review counts. Take a good look. What's the average star rating? If they're all hovering around 4.8 or 4.9 and you're down at 4.2, that's probably why they're ahead of you. And how does your total number of reviews compare? Are you close to the average or way behind? And here's a fun thought. What if you aim to be the business with the most reviews? How far off are you from the leader? Knowing this gives you a clear goal to work towards. If you're not quite there yet, don't worry. Just make improving your review profile a priority. The idea is to keep building up your reviews, raise your average rating, and show Google and your customers that you're the kind of business people trust and love working with. But that's not all. Ratings and review count aren't the whole story. Reviews are such an important part of your business that I actually look at them in even more detail. And the next thing I check is what I call the review velocity of a business. So what is that exactly? It's just the pace at which you're getting new reviews. Are they coming in steadily, like a nice little stream, or did you get a big batch ages ago and then nothing? Here is why this is important. Google loves to see consistent activity. When reviews keep coming in at a steady rate, it shows Google your business is active, trusted, and still making customers happy. But if you got 30 reviews 2 years ago and haven't had a single one since, that's not exactly sending the right signal. You can actually check the review velocity of any listing really easily. Just hit the review button under any business on Google Maps using the GMB Everywhere extension. I recommend checking the top 3 competitors in your area. Are they getting reviews regularly? Are you keeping up with their pace, or do you need to step it up to stay competitive? The goal here isn't just to rack up a ton of 5-star reviews all at once. It's to keep them coming in consistently over time. That's what Google likes to see. But hang on, we're not done with reviews just yet. There are a couple of other things you need to check. And the first one is whether your customers are including photos with their reviews. This can make a difference too, so let's talk about that. Reviews with photos carry more weight, both with potential customers and with Google. That's probably why reviews that include photos tend to stick near the top of your review list longer. They feel more authentic, more trustworthy, and they show people are genuinely interacting with your business. Plus, those photos give Google even more context about what your place looks like and what you offer. So here is what you should do. Start making it a habit to ask your happy customers to snap and include photo when they are leaving a review. It's simple and a lot of people are happy to do it if you just mention it. And of course, check how your competitors are doing here too. You can see the number of reviews with photos in the same review breakdown we used earlier when checking review velocity. If your competitors have a bunch of reviews with photos and you don't, well, you know the game by now. Step it up and aim to beat them, or at least catch up. Let's talk about the last review related item that most people don't even notice, but that can really help your profile stand out. Reviews from the web. Have you ever seen those little reviews from the web showing up on someone's Google business panel? You know, those extra review scores that pop up underneath your Google reviews, usually from sites like Facebook, Yelp, or other industry-specific directories. Well, here's the thing. They don't just make your listing look more legit and trustworthy. They also show Google that you've got credibility across multiple platforms, not just on Google itself. So go and check your own Google Business Panel. Do you see reviews from the web showing up? If not, that's a sign you're probably not getting reviews on other sites, and that's something you can work on. Start by figuring out where your competitors are getting these reviews. Are they showing scores from Facebook, Yelp, maybe a niche site that's specific to your industry? Once you know, claim your profile on those platforms and start asking customers to leave your reviews there too. The goal is to build up your reputation everywhere, not just on Google, and those extra reviews can give you a little edge in both rankings and customer trust. Right, we're done with review. Time to talk about something that might seem small, but it's one of the first things people notice when they see your listing, your cover photo. So here is the question. Does your cover photo actually represent your business? Like really? Or is it just some random stock photo, or worse, a random image Google slapped on there by default? It won't help your listing rank higher, but if it doesn't clearly show who you are and what you do, you're missing a huge opportunity to make your business look trustworthy and professional. Does your photo actually show your storefront, your team, maybe a shot of your product or service in action? Something that instantly tells people, yep, this is the business you're looking for. If not, it's time to upload a better one. Make sure it's high quality, well lit, and feels authentic. No blurry shots, no weird angles, just something clean and clear that makes you look good. Once you've uploaded a professional looking cover photo, you can move on to the next item on the list. We're going to stick with a photo theme here, and I have a question for you. Do you regularly upload new photos to your listing? Here is why this matters. Google loves fresh content, and photos are a big part of that. Regularly adding new pictures tells Google your business is active and well looked after. Plus, it gives potential customers a better idea of what you're all about. And get this, according to Google, businesses with photos get 42% more requests for driving directions and 35% more clicks to their websites compared to businesses without photos. That's huge. And let's be real, if you were choosing between a business whose last photo was from 2019 and one that clearly updates their listing every other week, who would you pick? Exactly. So here is what to do. Make it a habit to upload a few new photos regularly. They don't have to be professional or fancy, just real shots of your storefront, your team at work, your products, happy customers, if they're cool with it, or even seasonal decorations. Anything that shows what your business looks like today, not years ago. And while you're at it, take a peek at your competitors' listings. Are they posting regularly, or have they been slacking? If they haven't updated their photos in months, that's your chance to shine and stand out. So you've got your photos looking fresh and up to date. Great. But now, let's kick it up a notch and talk about something that can really set your listing apart: videos. Here's the thing. Most businesses don't bother with videos, which is exactly why you should. Videos grab attention way faster than photos, and they let potential customers actually see you in action. That's why you should also publish short videos on your listing. And don't overthink it. Your videos don't need to be Hollywood-level productions. A quick clip of your team working, your shop or office, a behind-the-scenes look, or even a short walkthrough of your space is perfect. Keep it under 30 seconds if you can. Make sure it's clear and steady, and you're good to go. Next up, services. A lot of businesses skip this, but it's such an easy win. Adding the services you offer on your listing not only helps customers see everything you can do, but it also helps your listing rank on Google for those services so you can show up for more searches. The best way to find out which services you should consider adding to your listing is once again by spying on your competitors using GMB everywhere. Click on the local scan option and on the services tab. You will see an overview of how the top 20 listings use services, but also a full list of all the services that are being used across all the listings. Go through the list and find out which ones might apply to your business. Then go into your Google Business Profile dashboard, find the services section, and make sure you add them to your listing along with everything else you offer. Simple. Once you're done with that, you can now move on to the next item on the list, products. Even if you're a service-based business, you should use the product feature to showcase what you offer. Google designed it for businesses selling physical products, but it works just as well for services packaged like products. Unfortunately, products won't help your listing rank, so why bother? Because the product section is super visual. It lets you add photos, descriptions, and even prices, which makes your listing stand out and gives customers a clear idea of what you offer right at a glance. Plus, it gives Google even more data about your business, which is always a good thing. The more complete your listing looks and the more visual elements you add, the more attractive it becomes to both customers and Google. So take a few minutes to fill out your product section with clear photos, descriptions, and pricing where possible. Once you're done with the product feature, take a look at your business description. This is the little paragraph that shows up on your Google Business Profile, and it's your chance to tell both Google and potential customers exactly who you are, what you do, and why they should choose you. If you're not entirely sure what to write here, you can use the AI feature from GMB Everywhere. Make sure you select that option directly from your own listing. Add some basic information and specify the tone of voice you want to use, and GMB Everywhere will help you craft a very decent description for your business. Super simple. Let's now move on to another strong visual feature, Google Posts. Google Posts show up right on your Google Business Profile. You can use them to share updates, special offers, events, new products, or even just tips and reminders for your customers. Although they don't help you rank, you should still use them as they help your profile look stronger visually, provide Google with more context about your business, and show Google you actively manage your listing. So regularly posting will matter. No need to go overboard. I'd say once a week or every 2 weeks is more than enough. And of course, check what your competitors are doing here too. If they haven't posted in months, you've already got an advantage just by showing up consistently. Last, but definitely not least, have you added your social media links to your Google Business Profile? It might seem like a small thing, but adding your social media profiles can really level up your online presence. Why? Because it strengthens your brand's credibility and makes it easier for people to discover you across different platforms. When Google sees that your business name, contact info, and branding are consistent across your website, your social media, and your Google Business Profile, it sends a strong signal of legitimacy. It really helps tie your whole online presence together into one trustworthy package. And hey, if you're not on social media yet, now's the time to at least set up the basics. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever your audience hangs out. Google does look at those platforms when evaluating your business, so having a presence there can only help you. So go ahead, create social media profiles for your business, then add those social media links to your listing. Make sure everything matches, and you're good to go. Level up your listing using everything from this audit, then fire up Local Falcon and run a visibility report. I'm betting you'll love what you see. That's a wrap, but don't stop here. If your Google listing is in good shape, but you really want to dominate your local competition, you've got to fix your website too. To find out how, you'll want to watch this next.